G'day guys and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about gronks in the comments and responding to them. Now, as the channel grows, it wouldn't be surprising to you that a lot more Americans are watching my channel, being that in America, firearms content is quite popular. And what also wouldn't surprise you is they generally don't like me swearing in my videos. Now, it strikes me as quite odd that some of these people come from a place like Alabama, where it is perfectly fine to finger fuck your sister, but if you say cunt, you're going to hell. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the comments that I've responded to, and most of these get posted on my social media because I think it's funny. And then once we're done doing that and ripping on these people, once again, publicly shaming them for being fucking retarded, then we're gonna go through a bit of a Q&A. If you're not following Instagram, it's fuck_outdoors with the U in there. Now, I never used to post these comments up because, why would I publicly announce these fucking gronks? But it just became more and more hilarious. So I decided to keep posting them. So strap in and let's have a bit of fun. I always love when they also can't spell. Your language is not good at all. You're either American or 12. Too much swearing, big turn off. Good thing I wasn't trying to turn you on. Seriously, cut the swearing, no need. No, I simply can't. You really don't need the vulgarity to make a review, sorry. Oh, I know that, you silly sausage, but I'm fucking going to anyway. Cursing is a sign of vocabulary shortage. Commenting about cursing is a sign of penis shortage. Can you get your hands on the new Buckmaster PB12? You reviews are a bit shit, but just want to see how it goes before I spend 2K. My reviews might be shit, but you type like you took your first hit of meth through the umbilical cord. Why would you buy this thing for? If it don't control recoil, just don't buy a muzzle device. Did you watch this on mute or just don't pay attention? How do you work in thongs? Step 1, put thongs on. Step 2, work. Do like I did, get rattlesnake bit by a pair. Are you having a stroke? This one I thought was particularly funny. It was actually a pretty funny comment. And I've started using this one quite a bit on other people. I think you are a rodwalloper. That's rich coming from a guy named Dick Cummings. Audio is crap, do better. Yeah, okay, because the 143-second video on your channel was produced by Michael Bay. Why did you test the weakest 22 LR on the market? There is literally, full stop, 22 LR now that shoots close to 2,000 feet per second with a 42 grain bullet. Because that's what was available to me at the time. Sorry, I'll just kung fu myself back in time and redo the video just for you. I think the best troll I could have ever done was years and years ago when I did the Australian gun laws by state video and I completely neglected Tasmania because they're a fucking island and fuck Tasmania. And I've had nothing but very interesting comments from Tasmanians ever since then. Nothing on Tasmania. Good job, mate. They're a bunch of cousin kisses anyway. Hello, with a W, like fucking Frank Walker from National Tiles. Hello, where's Tassie? Head south. When you get to Melbourne, head further south. Unless you're in Antarctica, then head north. You should try minimum 50 yard. At 30, might as well throw a rock. You don't need a shotgun. Can you throw a rock at 1450 feet per second? Neck up, you parrot. Scope was wasted on you, SMH. Oxygen was wasted on you. Inappropriate comment about Cardinal Pell. If you are about the truth, he was acquitted 7-0 by the High Court. If the dick doesn't fit, you must acquit, or whatever OJ's lawyers said. This one I thought was quite fucking hilarious. Because fuck the Navy. Sir, I could give two shits how you talk. I'm 30 years a sailor, but... When you put sailor and butt in the same sentence, everyone just assumes gay sex. You aggressively telling us what to do may be a little off-putting to the more sensitive among us. Suggestions, please, not orders. I don't give two shits about sensitive people being put off. That's the most Navy thing I've ever heard. I'm not even going to bother reading out this monstrosity of a fucking message. Essentially, he's disagreeing with me of why I modified my own gun, because I fucking can and I wanted to. But essentially, he's being a fucking ball bag, and randomly follows up in the end, this is why you lose comps and this is why I win. Mate, I don't shoot rifle comps, you fucking idiot. I don't know where you pulled that from, but good on you for winning. You're a real winner, and your parents are definitely siblings. Not to flex, but I killed the biggest stag with a bow in the Grampians at 14. Lol, okay Rambo. Great video, mate. Veloce is an Italian word. You pronounce it veloce. It's an Italian word. You fucking said that already. And the C is pronounced like a CH in cheese. Yeah, it's also a French word pronounced velos. And since it's a French gun, I would argue that that's the correct pronunciation. And also, since the French lost the Battle of Waterloo, I'll pronounce it however I want, because fuck the French. Right, so that's the end of the comments. That's just the ones that I post on social media. There's many, many, many more. So, if you're looking for a good time, go down in the comment section and have a read, because it's quite fucking hilarious, because there is a lot of gronks out there. And if you're going to be a fucking ass clown in the comments, then, you know, make your own channel and put yourself out there in the public and see what happens to you. Yeah, fucking idiot. All right, now on to the mid-year Q&A. I'm just going to go down to the bottom and work our way up. There wasn't actually that many questions this time, so maybe I won't do Q&As anymore if people aren't going to ask me the fucking questions, because if there's no questions, there's no fucking video, is there? What barrel length would you look at getting under and over shotgun for chasing pigs and foxes? Get a 20-inch. It's the same length as all of your straight pulls and all of your fucking lever releases and whatever. They mostly come with 20 inches, and that's what most people use for that style of hunting. You're going to have a much shorter package in a double barrel than you're going to get in that, because you don't have the big receiver length. If you want to shoot birds, go 28 or over. So I hope that answers your question. What do you look for in a second-hand hunting rifle? It depends on the type of rifle. Generally, I'm going to look at the face of the bolt. The face of the bolt can tell you a lot about a rifle. You're going to be looking for a gas-cutting ring around the firing pin protrusion hole. If there is a very deep gouged pitted hole there, don't buy it. You're going to see that a lot on old milsurps, just because they used old corrosive primers, and that's just what they did. They had gas blow by from the primer pocket, and you get gas cutting on the face of the bolt. So if you're looking at an old Mauser and you got it, you know, it's going to be there more than likely, unless it has been a safe coin and never fired old military ammo. But for a civilian market gun, yeah, look at the face of the bolt. Make sure it feeds correctly. Now, most gun shops aren't going to allow you to put a snap cap through a gun to see if it feeds, but look at the feed lips. If it's magazine, look at the magazine. If it's integral to the action, once again, like a Mauser, you'd be checking that those are correct. So, in particular, if you're buying, let's say, a Mauser 98 that it's a military, like a milsurp receiver, and someone's tried to turn into, let's say, a 404 Jaffrey, because I just had to do one of those, and it was an absolute pain in the ass because someone had not done the feed lip conversion correctly, and that gun fed like shit. It took a long, long time to figure out all of the different things that had to happen to get that to be fixed. So if it's something like that, definitely be looking at the feed lips. Make sure the safety functions correctly. You can check the bore. Most bores look, even bores that are shithouse, when you shine them up in the light and look down them, they look really, really shiny. So I really hate when people go, oh, it's a 9 out of 10 shiny bore, because that's like saying, yeah, my car has fucking air in the tyres. It's a bit of a tyre kicker fucking thing to say. If you have the ability to pop it out of stock, check the bedding. Realistically, just buy a gun of a model you know is good. So like, I love Tikka T3Xs. I have absolutely zero dramas buying a second-hand Tikka T3X, because I know it's going to be fine. There's going to be probably nothing wrong with it. But yeah, just make sure you look over the gun as good as you can. And obviously gun shops are really bad at letting you look at the guns really well. They're sort of like, oh yeah, have a look at it. Oh, and you know, if you want to put a deposit down on that, we'll let you play with it some more. Because, you know, gun shops are thieving salesmen. Yeah, just give it a good look over. I can't really give you much more advice than that, because most of the things that I would check are things that you're not going to let you check on the counter. Pre-fit barrels are a realistic option over custom chambered ones if you're chasing accuracy. No. Look, pre-fit barrels are fine. It actually depends on the action. Remington 700s are really hard to do a pre-fit for, because there's so much variation in how they're made. So one that fits one 700 won't fit another properly, and then if it doesn't headspace correctly, it's dangerous. You know, there's a few things there. Pre-fits are really good for the ones like the barrel nut guns, like Savage 110s and all that sort of shit, with the nut, because you headspace that yourself when you change the barrel. In order to get them to fit most actions, they have the largest headspace safe possible, so usually it's about 6 thou. A target gun typically is going to have 2 thou of headspace, and that really, really does aid in accuracy. So no, a pre-fit is not going to be the most accurate option, and that's why you know, people don't buy pre-fits if they're a F-class shooter or whatever. What they will do though is they might send their gun into a gunsmith and have their gun measured, and the gunsmith makes a blueprint and then goes, okay, Every time I spin a barrel for this guy, the shank needs to be exactly this length, the counterbore for the bolt needs to be exactly this depth, the chamber needs to be exactly this long, and therefore he's making technically pre-fit barrels, but only for that one gun. I hope that all makes sense to you. But if you're buying like a proof pre-fit or whatever you want to buy, they're not going to be as accurate as if you get a gunsmith to custom do it for your gun. If you had a choice between 22 to 50 or 308 for dual purpose, target bench and spotlighting rifle, what would you choose and why? I would choose 22 to 50 because that's what I personally did. Not a standard 22 to 50 though, because you can really only push about 60 grain projectiles before you start really running into accuracy issues because of the 1 in 14 twist in them. I have a 1 in 8 twist barrel on my 22 to 50, so I'm pushing 80 grain bullets, which is fucking awesome for target. I shoot little bug hole groups. It's awesome varmint gun because I shoot fairly long range for small critters like foxes and rabbits and all that sort of shit. So that for me is my dual purpose gun. I shoot target with that and I also varmint hunt with it, so spotlighting. So that's what I've done, but that's not to say you can't do it with 308. You just got to weigh up what's the most practical for you. If you just want to shoot factory ammunition, go 308 because you can get the long stuff with the high BC and whatever. If you want to build a custom gun and you want to do it cool, do 22 to 50 or 22 Creedmoor. Do you partake in pistol shooting or any other form of precision hobby, in brackets, like air rifles or archery? Yes, I do pistol shooting, and I used to do archery a fair bit. If you've been in the channel since the start of the channel, which was about 6 years ago, all my first content was archery content, and I think all that content has been deleted by now, but anyway, I'm going to get back into archery because I've got a screwed back. The chiropractor's actually recommended that I get back into archery because it helps strengthen up your posture and helps strengthen up, shoulder blades and all that sort of stuff. So I'll be looking to get a bow. If you've got a secondhand bow and you're local to me, please let me know and I'll probably buy it off you because that's something I definitely want to get back into, and I might even go on a couple of hunts, maybe goats or something, and see if I can get some more bow kills because it'd be cool. What's the best way to extract myself from a ghastly marriage? Look, mate, I'm probably the worst person to ask for advice about that sort of shit. Have you considered fucking her sister or her brother? Why aren't more people members of gun clubs? In my opinion, membership fees aren't expensive. You meet like-minded people at the range. Some have licensed bars / lounges. Unlicensed gun owners can hire with provided ammunition, instructor, liability insurance for cheap prices, etc., etc. Look, in my opinion, the reason why people don't go to gun clubs more is there's too many fucking gatekeepers. There's too many people who think they know everything, they've got an ego about them, and they treat people who go there like fucking idiots. It's the same with like four-wheel drive clubs. There's a shitload of wankers in four-wheel drive clubs. Look at cyclists. They're all fuckheads. In every little sub-niche fucking community group, there's always going to be fuckwits, but most time fuckwits gravitate towards positions of, pseudo-power or whatnot, and in my opinion, that's why people don't like going to gun clubs, particularly new people when they don't know something, because they know they're going to be ridiculed for not knowing stuff. Now, and that's not to say every club's like that. I've been to some clubs where there's been some really, really genuinely nice people and people really inviting of new people, but a lot of people at gun clubs, no, this is the way it is, and they throw around misinformation that's completely not true. At that range, they have a noise limit because of how close it is to suburbia, right? So for that reason, they've made a blanket, hey, okay, during the week when you're shooting, unless it's like a big bore Sunday, you can't shoot anything greater than 300 Win Mag, which is fine. So that gives you a limit of like cartridge, okay, anything above a 300 Win Mag, kinetic energy, anything kinetic energy above a standard 300 Win Mag load. What they've actually got written down in their paperwork is that's equivalent to a 308 out of a 20-inch barrel, which is absolutely not true. The thing is 300 Win Mag is about 3,200 foot-pounds of energy. Then they say, yep, that's exactly the same as a 308 out of a 20-inch barrel. It's absolutely not. If you know anything about kinetic energy equations and mathematics, it doesn't actually fucking make sense, and they're just throwing around arbitrary rules because they don't really understand maths and or kinetic energy. They're going to say that to a newbie, and a newbie's going to believe them and go, well, 300 Win Mag and 308, the exact same thing. And if you shoot out of a short barrel, Well, that's even better. This is the thing I'm getting at. People just throw out stupid, random, I fucking concocted this fucking bullshit out of my brain and now it's fucking gospel because it's written down at a gun club. And that's the problem I have with gun clubs is they don't generally know what they're talking about, and if you try to pull them up on it, they'll tell you you're the fuckwit. Anyway, I hope you got something out of that. I'll see you next video, and hooroo.